Today is October 14th, and this is it's approximately 8:53 a.m. I'm going to take a video. I didn't put these boilers in the two Burnhams. I'm going to do an annual check for a customer. I'm starting with the second floor unit. Now, I'm going to check the gas pressure and make sure everything's running in the parts per million. So this is going to be today's video for YouTube, my YouTube channel. But if you have any questions, just a message. But what you want to do first is to check the pressure. You want to turn this to off and pull the burner so they got a plate. This is an older standing pilot unit that let me adjust my camera. Excuse me. We got this backwards. But I'm using, by the way, the Canon GX7 Mark III. Now they claim there's some problems, they don't like it, but I think it's okay. For a video, you just keep it steady, the focus doesn't blur. But I find that as for exposure, if you want to use one for your business, you want to go into exposure compensation. I have this set to +1 stop. I know a little bit about photography because I do it on the side, but for good video quality, most basements between 1/3 stop, or minus whatever, but 1/3, one stop extra on the exposure compensation seems to give you a good video. So this is the burner plate in there. It's a little bit dirty. I cleaned this last year. I'm going to blow them out. I'll turn this back on when I get some gas pressure footage. Now, this is a Burnham Series 2 96,000 BTU input. So for this, they don't have a tap on the burner manifold to put your gas gauge. So you got to take the plug out over here. And of course, I did the wiring here is really congestive. You want to take that plug out, and that's where your manometer goes. Digital. I'm using the field piece manometer. You want to just put a little pipe dope on here occasionally. Not much, but make sure this is tight. For this thing, the tap would have been good on the manifold because of the pilot tubing. It's this plastic Honeywell valve, the VER8200C. Half metal, half plastic. But get that in there. Twist it with your fingers. give a little twist on it with a wrench. The regulators on these valves, they will get out of adjustment depending on how old the valve is. And if you're not burning great gas, you're not going to have a problem. Okay. So I'm going to hook this up. This goes to, this is the field piece. SDM5, excuse me, SDMN5. N5 is in Nancy. You would put this on the P1 right here. You can do the inlet and outlet. P1 would then go to, actually I was going to do that, but I stopped on the inlet of the valve. So you put your tube on. You at least want to get that down to here on that rib. Before you put the hose on, zero it out. Okay. I'm going to go up and turn the thermostat. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm doing the test with the field piece. We're taking a gas reading at 3.65. This boiler was installed from a company, and they never probably checked the pressure. So if you can see, the pressure for this boiler, this camera's not focusing, or I'm not focusing here, is reading 3.645. It's almost 4-inch water column. It's too high for this boiler. The Burnham require 3.5 adjustment. 3.5 to 3.5 a range. So I'm going to focus here. If you can see, that's what it's calling for. So this is out of adjustment. I'm going to adjust it. And if you're listening to the sound of the flame, you're going to notice it, the change. It's going to be more tuned. So we're going to adjust this. Now you got to be careful. The regulator for this is right in the back here. Take your screw off here. This is not for homeowners. I'm doing this for my promotion, my business, and people in the trade learning. So what we're going to do is we're going to back this up. You see we're going down to 351. Just a tiny adjustment. It's 3.5. And that's what it's calling for. This was probably out of adjustment from day one when they put it in. So now it's fluctuating 3.5, 3.51. Staying steady at 3.5. This is I'm going to make a note of this in this video I'm posting. This is a Canon GX7 Mark III. There's a lot of bad reviews on this, but if you're doing videos like I'm doing, if you're walking with this, the focusing is going to change. So they're complaining that it's not steady. The pictures are great, but if you're setting this down to video yourself, it has face detection like I'm doing. I just point it on the screen. It's a clear video, so I don't know what the people are reviewing this bad for. But we're at 351, 349, 35. So I'm going to give a little bit just adjustment more because I'm running this for 10 minutes. It's still $3.5. I'm going to stay quiet. If you listen, you can hear that it's tuned down. This is actually tuning the burners. I'm going to admit myself that I've ignored doing this step. It's an important thing to do before you do anything. As long as your gas pressure is set what's on the gas valve for this appliance, the boiler or furnace, you're going to be in good shape. You can hear that it's settled down slightly. So we're steady at 3.5. That's the Field Master. Actually, I was on the P2. I had bumped it, so we're going to adjust this to 3.5. It was under. So there we are at 3.5. Just a tiny bit more. And when you turn the screw, you got to be very gentle. This is going to 3.51. That's fine. You don't want to be like 3.46. You want to be 3.5. Even 3.51 is fine. But so you can see that it sounds better too. But it's the arrows on. Make sure your arrow's on P1. That's where you do the gas test. You see here? Oh. Zoom in. This over here is P2, so there's an arrow. Make sure that arrow's over here for the gas check. If you're doing the inlet pressure, this P1 would go on the inlet of the gas valve tap, and then P2 would be the actual gas pressure across the gas valve. That'll give you your pressure drop. But this is a good instrument, the Field Master SD5N5. So we're steady at 3.5 what the gas valve and the appliance require. I'm going to pause this. Okay, now I'm doing the check. with the Testo 300. It's the new one. Nobody's wrote a review on it. So you can see that I have this in here. You want to push, I drilled the hole a little small, but I'm going to hold it back and pull it out. And then you press your start. Natural gas. This tells you your combustion. If your parts per million of carbon monoxide are high, your oxygen, your flue temperature going up the chimney. So right now we're starting off with the test. It's been running for about 10 minutes. So we're gonna see here. Let me adjust my camera. I drilled a 1/4 inch hole. You'd have to ream it out. It needs 5/16 for this to go in. This holds it. So right now we're at 6 parts per million. Efficiency is 81.0. CO2 is 8.19. Now for this particular setup, if you're going to do the combustion test, it'll tell you if you're spilling. You want, on this type of bore, you want to do it below the draft, right where it comes out, right above the vent damper. So you get the gas coming right out of the borer. Then for the chimney, you would do above the draft hood, so you don't have the mixed air on the parts per million test. This tells you if your boiler's clogged, if chimney's working, and how many parts per million of carbon monoxide you're getting right now. This is what my readings are. I think you can see in my camera. We're at 8 parts per million, 80.8% efficiency, 8.13. The stack right now is irrelevant. COAF 12 parts, air free, that's a good reading. We're still at 8. The oxygen is 6.3, between 6.4 and we're dropping in parts per million, actually 7, 6. You don't want to be above 11, but there's certain limits you're allowed. I have the paper. It's under the National Fuel Code, ANSI, but you can find information online. If you're getting a boiler check or a furnace check and they're not doing this, it's not fully completed. We're now at 5 parts per million, which I had pulled that out, but we're going back in. We're down to 4 parts. Air free is 6. The efficiency is 81 still. It's good boiler still. Series 2. This is from 2002. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this report. Hit save. It stores it. Okay. Then we can go to another test, which would be the draft measurement. On the same profile you created. So I have the name here, and we switched to draft. Before it was flue gas analysis. I'm switching back. Now I'm going to go to draft measurement. Now for this test, you got to drill a hole, like I said, above the draft hood. Which we're going to show you right now. So I'm going to put it over here. It's within 18 inches going into the chimney. It's a better location. You drill a little hole. Ream it out. And then you put your probe in. In case we got to ream it out some more. Oops. I don't want to crack yet. It's $1,500 this cost me. Now I bought this at, if you're in Pittsburgh, Johnstone Supply, they have them. I had it within one day. $1,500 and change. It's worth your equipment to buy. So what I did was I drilled the hole, reamed it out, and put the probe in. Now we're going to conduct the test and see what we got here. Actually, you have to zero this before. I'm going to stop it. Before you put it in. Okay, so now it said we can conduct the test. I zeroed it outside. Now, this is the temperature of the stack that I'm getting. Draft measurement. This is still not, it's under negative pressure. It's been running for 10 minutes. I'm checking her chimney, the owner's chimney, the lady. So we're going to see if she's getting the right measurements. Now for the information for the stack temperature for atmospheric boilers, 8%. Okay. I got this information from my supplier here in Pittsburgh. It's from Backrack, but it's typical. It's a typical sheet. This is for forced air furnaces right here. But we're going to go to the boiler. It has all the information for the furnaces, 90%, 80%. And for this particular boilers right here, where I show you where they drill the holes, you see. The ones that have it in the back, you would go in the bottom there. So the tells you the average temperatures on the last page here. Residential, light, commercial, fired equipment. Atmospheric furnaces, boilers, and hot water tanks. Okay. So for the boilers, oxygen should be between 6 to 9%, which we were taking. Stack temperature averages 325 to 500. So far, we only have $219.4. Looks like it's going to be getting up there. It has to run. It's at 229. Let me turn this. This has a magnet. It's a beautiful machine. So it's not hot enough right now. We're going to be around 320, 25. This is the only, I have to check about, for this owner, I have to check about 8, I think, what do we got here? About 12 boilers on this particular row of properties. Like I said, if you're using this new Canon GX7 Mark III, use the touch screen. As long as it's steady, it's beautiful video. If you're moving it, you'll have to touch the screen where you want to focus. It takes a while to focus. But other than that, it's a good camera. I'm only going to do it on this one boiler here, because I'll be here till tomorrow doing all these videos and tutorials. We're at 221. It's getting up there. Probably has to run a little bit. I'm going to pause this and come back. Okay, we're back here a few minutes, about 10 minutes after. We've still got the negative pressure. There's no positive pressure. So if you look on this Testo 300, it's negative. It's as good. And the temperature is vaguely 230, 229, 230. It may climb a little bit. So this boilers are running efficiently. The typical reading, as they say, is 325 to 500. But long as this doesn't go too low, and then you got a problem with your circulation. But as of now, this is a pretty good efficient boiler. It's 230, 31. 229, 230, and the draft HTO is like 0.5, which is good. Now you can switch this. This is the list. You can go to graphics, and it'll tell you the graphics. You understand? I'm going to switch this. It has a strong magnet on here. So this is steady, showing it's steady. Draft is green. About 232 now, 230. It's going up a little bit. I guess the longer it runs, it's going to get hotter. But it didn't heat up right away. T-stack measurement, and then you can go to hotspot. See, negative pressure, they'll tell you. It tells you your current stack and your maximum so far. The maximum was 232, but we'll go back to the list where the graphics is better. Okay, then I'm going to terminate this because I have other stuff to do here. We go back to list. And then what we're going to do is turn this around. You hit save the test, and then you get the printer. They got a problem with their email on this. By the way, the emails, they have some kind of problem. I'm waiting for the rep to call me back. You put the printer right there, like this, and the back is side a little bit. Okay, then you go to finish test. You hit you have your test here, so you print them all together. You have your draft, you check them, then you just have them signature, sign report, and you just save. And then you hit the print button. Yes, this printer has to be next to the machine. It says generating. And then you go. It prints out your company name and everything. All your readings. And your technician, which is me, Vince Marino. So this, nobody does this, by the way. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I found this machine by browsing. I put a lot of hot water and steam boilers there in Pittsburgh. Slant fin. And check a few, check the new ones I put in. But this is good to have for, how do you say, CYA, cover your ass. You understand? So, I'm going to, for nobody who knows who I am here in Pittsburgh, this is my business. It's on my shirt. And this is I'm finishing a test here for a 2-unit boiler. First floor and second floor hot water boilers. If you got a problem in Pittsburgh, you think you're not getting the right work done or checks, just let me know. 412-682-6733. For the time being, I'm gonna sign off until the next adventure. This is the first floor boiler I'm gonna do next. But I'm not gonna make any videos, it's too long. This is the only one I did. Yeah, then when you, these holes here, by the way, before I go, you drill them. You use a little bit of the foil tape, that's all. Nothing's gonna leak out, both holes. I'm gonna sign off on this one.